Hi Taurus, this is going to be your 2019 tarot reading, and I'm going to set it up so that we'll pick a card for each month. We'll do a bit of a clarifier and we'll see the overall energies of the year, and then we'll use these monthlies to be the overalls for each month. So whenever we do a monthly, we'll bring it back. So I like reading this way. I hope you do. You enjoy it. If you are feeling like it's resonating, feel free to drop a comment or share, like, and subscribe. It's going to be fun. So I want to ride this ride with you. Okay. So we're going to use the Line Strider Tarot to do the overall monthly. And I have pre-shuffled, but I will shuffle a bit more. This deck is really nice and open, like there's lots of white space, and I really like that. It gives me a lot to kind of allow to bring up ideas versus kind of being told what to think by those cards that have lots of drawings. Okay, here we go for Taurus. 2019, I'm looking for January 2019. January for Taurus. 7 of Swords. Okay, so Taurus, maybe 2018 was something you needed to get away from. Maybe we needed to move out. So let's say that this is the past, right? So the being is moving away from 2018. Now it's kind of like a sneak off. We know that it's the sneaky card. There's a little bit of deceit that is inherent in this card, but it doesn't have to be that way. You could have just felt like, done, I'm gonna leave these swords behind, I'll take what I can, and I'm gonna move forward. So January is picking up what you can, and you're moving forward. Now there's no connotation here. I like to read both positives and negatives, because that's what we put onto experiences. All experiences are neutral until we decide. So again, there's nothing negative here. You're leaving what looks to be like a battle in the background here. And I hope that 2018 didn't feel that way for you, but if that's what it felt like, then you're moving out of it. So congratulations, your January is moving forward, okay? So now we're gonna move on to February. What is in February for Taurus, 2019? Okay, we have the moon, and it's in reverse. I'm gonna flip it because I like to look at it right side up. But there's the moon. We have the dogs and the lobster, which is so funny. Whoops. So we're moving into our emotions. We're moving into our, and you know, the moon has this element of secrecy, of intuition, of things coming to light, but not necessarily being completely understood. There's still some haze around it. So, because that would be the sun, things that are, you know, brought to light and completely understood. The moon is also, you know, it's a watery element. It's connected to Cancer. So we have our emotions involved here. So, so February is, there's some depth of emotion that I think that you're going into, and it could be because that there has been a leaving behind of you know what was in your past, and now it's setting in, you know, getting settled into, what do I really feel? What do I feel like? Who do I feel like? This feels like a very internal experience for you. And I'm sorry, I said that there were 2 dogs, but that looks more like a wolf to me. So you're internalizing emotionally in February. Now February is, you know, the love month, when we have Valentine's Day. And so it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to have a connection or you don't continue your connection. It just means that you're going to be getting you're going to connect deeper with your own personal emotions and your personal intuition. And I love that for you. Now the inverse of it is that you're kind of denying that part of yourself, like you're denying that you have this intuition. So just embrace it. There's nothing wrong with being a little soft and emotional. Nothing wrong with that at all. So that would be what's coming up for you in February. Now, what's in March? March for Taurus, Justice, inverted. Okay. So we're gonna flip it so that it's right side up. Libra card. There's some balance that you're coming to, and it could be that you left something behind. We're coming to our emotional selves, our emotional understanding of ourselves, and now we want to balance out where we're going from here. We want to make things, make a swift, because that's your sword, make a swift judgment call and move forward. So March is a reckoning for you. It doesn't feel, it doesn't have to be dramatic of a reckoning. I know that that's kind of a dramatic word, but Taurus, you have such a softness to you. I mean, you have this it's not like you're a hardened earth sign, yes, you can be stubborn, but there's, you have the Venusian elements of yourself. So it's like you're a softer dirt. You're like silt, where you embrace someone who sits upon you. So there's a softness to you, and I think that, we've got these swords. There's something where you need to be swift and state, this is how things are. I want them to be truthful, and I want things to be fair. In the past, it has been a little unclear to me, and this is where I'm feeling I need to be in March. Is I want it to be out in the open, and I want it to be, I want to move forward, and I don't want there to be any kind of confusion anymore. So Justice is bringing it up to be clear and to know the truth and to find the balance in what might have been deceptive before, and being able to integrate what felt as perhaps it was a deception, to integrate it into the truth of now. Okay. April. Page of Wands. Here we go. So we all say that pages are messenger cards. Pages to me are, they're the babies of the courts, right? So they are excitable. They want to bring things forward. They want to move the energy in whatever suit that they are, but they don't have the facts. They don't have the experience. They just have the passion. They have this this beautiful desire. It's like a 4 or 6 year old. They just want to. They want to move forward in life, and they're so excited because they've learned a new thing, and they want to share it with everyone. And then they share it with everyone, and then it's all given out. They get all their candy out, and then then they're wondering, like, where's I don't have any more candy. How did this happen? So it's an expending of resources of that suit. So the page is putting out a lot of action. Putting out a lot of creativity and pursuit, and it might be like you're lighting a fire underneath your own butt in April. However, you might burn yourself out. Okay, so just be aware that perhaps with this, you've gotten to a place where you're like, all right, I've got my justice, I've figured out how to balance everything, and then you move forward, but perhaps we needed just a little bit more information before we moved forward fully, okay? So in April, I think, because this was reversed, we're just being told that we just flipped ourselves a little bit too quickly, okay? So move with less swiftness, take action, but also place one foot firmly down before you place the next one down in front of you. Otherwise, you might trip, okay? We don't want to trip. No tripping here. Okay, so we're looking for May for Taurus. We're getting into Taurus season. I guess the end of April was Taurus season 2. 4 of Wands. Oh, look at that. So this is lovely. 4 of Wands is beautiful foundation. there is, so, you know, we've moved forward pretty fast, but now what we're doing is we're coming back to like, okay, let's make this firm. Let's make this foundation firm. Now, this could be a relationship. I'm not seeing any other cups at this point, so I'm going to read it as if it's just the Wands card. So we've made a foundation in our action for our jobs, for our artistic creativity, for anything where you are putting something out there, an expenditure of some sort, not necessarily financial though, this is action-based. So you're building a strong foundation in your birth month, and this happens actually when it's our birthday. We kind of go back and reflect. I do this at the end of the year, and I also do this around birthday time, is that I reflect on, you know, what this past year has been. So that could have been what's going on, is that, you know, you're reflecting upon this past year. You want to make a strong foundation to move forward. This 4 is saying, yes, you have it. The 4 is the foundation cards, because the 4 is the strongest. You know, like the pyramids are built on 4s, 4 points. It's the balance of the elements. So this is a great card for your birthday season, for you picking up and laying down everything that's going to be set up for you the following birth year, your solar return. Okay. So June, Ace of Cups. Well, now here we have the Ace, and then we have the Cups coming out. So this could very well be a relationship. It also could just be a beginning of reconnecting to your emotions, reconnecting to your ability to feel like you are in flow in life, you know, where things are just easy and fluid. This is the beginning of that. June is something where it's opening up and we're beginning something new and beautiful. You know, the Ace is a promise that we will have some gifts. We will have some ease. It will feel beautiful. So you've done some hard work. You've made some tough choices, and now we're moving forward into feeling good. Okay, no more of this 2018 struggle. We're feeling good by May and in June especially. So something new's coming for you. Something new's coming for Taurus. So let's see, for July 2019. Look at that, Lovers. Okay, so we're still on to the theme of possible romance. And then, and we'll see. So July, Lovers is the Gemini's card. So there could be a connection with a Gemini. It could also mean that there is a choice. So you might have a choice of two emotional partnerships. You could have a choice to go from an emotive place to an action place. Like there might be a balance between you know, Taurus always hardworking. So it could be that you're trying to find a balance and make a choice between this relationship and work. Okay, you don't have to make a choice between the two. It's working on how do we integrate the two, because it doesn't have to be one or the other. And that's the beautiful thing about Gemini, is that they're always trying to bring these two selves together. It's kind of like the twin flame story, that you're bringing the two together. So it's making a choice, but then also integrating it, so that perhaps that choice doesn't have to be a one or the other. It can be both. How's that? How's that for a fun July? That could definitely be an enjoyment, especially here in the Northern Hemisphere. It'll be the peak of summer. Amazing. Okay. August, 7 of Pentacles. I just realized I didn't show you those last ones. The 7 of Pentacles. Now it came up reversed. We'll talk about that as well. I'm going to leave it facing upwards. So the 7 of Pentacles, you know the Pentacles, they are your suit. You have been planting your seed and you are waiting for it to grow. That's basically what the 7 of Pentacles is. Now, if it's upside down, the question is, are you putting your eggs in the right basket? Or are you putting them in a basket with a hole in the bottom, right? Are the eggs just falling through? What that means is that, are you expending your energy in the right spot? Now this, again, we're telling a long story here. It may be related to this choice that you're making in June, July, but it could also be going back to just the basic of who you are, which is the hardworking, hard-loving being of Taurus. So all of these things that you have been sowing and planting, seeds, you're just waiting for them to blossom, okay? When we pull a clarifier, we'll know specifically what that's about, okay? Moving on to September. Too many there. Oh, here we go. September, Queen of Wands. Okay, so strong feminine energy. Again, Wands. We've got a lot of action this year, which is great. We love action. We love moving forward in creativity. We have a sweet little black cat on her shoulder. So we have a maternal element of action. So this is the mother, the woman who pushes us forward. She's the one who won't allow us to become complacent. This may be you. This may be the energy that you're pulling, that you're putting on yourself. While you might have been waiting for something to blossom, you realize, oh, wait a second, I actually have to put the more energy forward. I have to, I'm not going to sit around and wait for this. I'm actually going to step forward in my action, in my creativity, and make this happen. Or there's going to be an energy of that surrounding you, perhaps an actual person. A lot of times that happens with those court cards. Those people show up to help us just when we need them. Okay. October, 7 of Wands. It's in reverse. More Wands. Here we go. So we are standing our ground. That's this card, okay? Standing your ground. You've made it this far, okay? Again, 7s and 7s here. We've made it this far. Oh, you have the other 7 too. Woo! Yeah. You want to make sure that all that you've been working for, it's going to survive. It's going to thrive. You have a legacy here. So you're protecting your legacy. You're waiting for it to grow. You're making action towards it, and you're protecting it in October. Interesting that we're moving through so many different elements here. What a great year of versatility for you, Taurus. How interesting. Okay, let's go to November. November for Taurus, 2019. 9 of Wands. So this makes sense, of course. More Wands. Next step. It's been tough. It's been tough, but you have won the fight. So you have gone through all of this action of 7, right? And now we're to the 9 in November. November 9, maybe the 9th of November means something, but there's been a struggle. You have emerged victorious. You're going to stand your ground and demonstrate that this is your boundary, right? So whatever this is that you've been creating, that you've been working on, because we're taking action towards, and it could be a relationship that's here, but this wand story started before that, so I'm thinking probably not. I'm thinking that this has to do with you, Taurus, with your career, with your work, because that is your gift to the world, is that you show us the discipline of hard work. We love that about you. And so this 9 is showing us that, you have fought the battle of making this new thing that you have birthed into creation this year, and you have demonstrated that you can handle it. You've taken action. You've made sure that you have space and created the boundary for it, and now you're going to demonstrate that this is you. This is your baby. This is your legacy. I want to see how this turns out. December for Taurus. Strength. Ooh, I love this. Okay, now it is upside down, but again, I believe we can flip it all. So strength, I hope you can see this. Our Leo card, again, beauty in action. So this is the fire. This is, instead of waiting it out, saying, look, this is all that I've created, which, you know, wands is your fire element. This is all I've created, and waiting it out. Now you see it blossom. So everything that you've worked towards creating this 2019, the power behind it that you put behind it is what's going to push it forward out into the world. It's incredible because it's going to withstand whatever challenges you may have, okay? Whatever might be coming up in 2020, it's going to withstand because it's landing on this major arcana card. It's landing on this, the willfulness of the wands, the highest suit, you know, your Leo there. It's not about ego, but this is 10th house matters. This is everything that you're working towards, because Taurus, that's what you love. You have such a great industrious nature, and that is what 2019 looks to be for you. You have some possibility of love. You have a little bit of stuff that you're walking away from, that you're resetting early on in the year, but everything else is moving you towards making choices of moving yourself and your creative and your industrious nature forward, so that you will get to a place of accomplishment and recognition and everything that Leo is. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is we're going to pull a Norman card for each of these, and that'll give me a little bit of a clarification for what's going on, okay? And again, we'll pull these out for every month too, okay? So 7 of Swords, 7 of Swords, okay. So we're walking away from some type of structure, authoritative, what else would it say with this? It could be that you're actually walking away from a corporate job. You could be walking away from school. Whatever a structured element is in your life, you're walking away from it. So you're leaving all of that behind, which can be really scary. I understand that. And especially for you guys, Taurus, because you love that stability. So you're leaving whatever this stable force was behind to move forward. What a risk. And I think, you know, we're going to end up in this amazing place at the end of the year. So how amazing. You're doing the right thing. That's what the cards are saying so far, okay? So let's clarify the moon here in February. Okay, so we've got a commitment. Now, so far we haven't seen another person in these cards. We don't really get to relationship stuff until later on. So I'm going to read this as a commitment to yourself. The other thing is, if we're reading the moon as a Cancer, as a person, then there's a commitment here with that person. But there's a commitment that's happening in the understanding or the revelation of what has been hidden here in this moon energy. So the intuition, you have a commitment to the intuition, and you have a commitment to the emotional aspect of yourself, okay? So we're moving away from things and structures that were once known, and we're diving into an emotional, watery place that may feel uncomfortable, but you're committing to it, which is brave and beautiful, and you're going to see some amazing rewards, okay? March for Taurus. Let's see here. I think it's this one. Sunshine. So this is the most energetic card of the Lenormand deck, Lenormand. So the sun is coming out. The sun might be burning through this moon here to give you to your justice. So you're going to have the energy to make everything fair. You're going to have the brightness of being. You're going to see through whatever darkness there might have been, and you're going to find a way to balance what once was, you know, perhaps unclear, and you're going to bring it into balance here in March, okay? You're going to have the energy. It's going to move you forward. We're still moving forward. There's so much moving forward in this. This is like great progress. April for Taurus. Whips. The whip. Okay, so in April, that makes sense too. So, you know, we're learning about how to take action here, okay? So you've made some great choices to move forward, and we're just jumping out of the gate just a little fast. This is a repetitive card. This is also kind of beating yourself up about it, okay? Don't do that, Taurus. Don't do that. You don't have to. So you just made it a little hard on yourself. April's going to be a little bit tricky because you just jump out of the gate a little fast. And perhaps you do it over and over again. You try little things a little bit forward, you kick back, you go forward, you get kicked back. So April might be a little jarring, but again, remember what's coming forward, okay? So this is all happening, it's all revealing itself perfectly, okay? That's the beginning of your birthday month. Now we're moving into May. Let's see, your birthday month. The lilies with the Four of Wands. Okay, so the lilies is the most interesting card of the Lenormand. Sensuality. It's also about antiquity and old integrated things, okay? So what's guiding you with this Four of Wands is that you want to have this life of I was going to say stability again, and it makes sense because you're a Taurus, but the stability that comes with things that are old or antiqued, or if we have a what am I trying to say here? If we have this structure that we go over it over and over again, okay? So it's not a repetition, and that's not what I'm trying to say. It just becomes, it is a discipline. These are not the words that I'm wanting to use for this card. Okay, let's take it to the sensual place. So the Four of Wands, you're building this new structure, even though we were talking about the wands being about your business. Again, we have some foundational things, and you really want this foundation to stay for the long term. So that's what the lilies is. That's where we're trying to get to, is that the lilies is about staying, it's a long-term commitment, okay? So we're building a strong foundation for a long-term commitment. That long-term commitment could be until, you know, old age, right? This could be you starting a new, you know, investment plan, right? This could be building a home or working on the actual home here. So it's something that's about this long-term ripening of your life, and you're really thinking about it, again, right around your solar return. Beautiful. Okay. June for Taurus. Huh, interesting. Okay, so we've got the Mountain. This means it's slow going. It's a little bit of a challenge. There's a little bit of isolation too. This buck that's here by himself. So to begin this this emotional connection, either with yourself or with another, there could be a little bit of a challenge. It could be slower than what you anticipated. Perhaps you actually wanted this to happen way up here, but it's not happening until June. Or it's just a very slow blossoming, because what else happens is that we get back into Wands a little later. So maybe it's just something that is slowly riding along with you, but it's not a passionate development of a connection yet. Doesn't mean it couldn't, and maybe that's coming here. But this beginning is coming, even though it's been a little challenged in the beginning, okay? It's been a little slow coming, okay? But it is coming. to July, the lovers in July. Let's tell us what this is about and find out. Loyalty, okay? So, friendship. If this is a partnership, this is going to be a partnership that's based on a deep friendship, a deep respect for each other. It may be a slow blossoming from a relation or from a friendship, a former friendship. But what I'm really feeling from it is that it's a loyalty that you'll have to each other that is deep, and that is different. And if it's a choice that you're making and it's not about a partnership whatsoever, or you're already in a partnership, this choice is about where your loyalty lies, okay? You're going to actually be looking at where your loyalty lies between, this stuff that you've left behind versus the stuff that that's coming up. So this this old way of doing things versus your new way. Perhaps the people around you, if they're not supportive of you, are they not loyal towards your new development of life? So we're going to be seeing those choices about loyalty happening in July. Okay, August for Taurus. Okay, now we have the Moon with the Seven of Pentacles. Okay. So the Moon card in Lenormand is, it's an intuitive card, it's an emotive card as well, but it's even more on the lines of, I look at it as like, it goes along with the moon cycle, so there's a natural connection there with the moon. It's also about, it is about femininity. It is about, there is some delusion involved as well. So these are the things that are going to be coming up while you're waiting for this, this Seven of Pentacles to reveal, to blossom. You've put in this hard work, you're kind of waiting for the rewards to come up, and now you're looking through this time of well, it's another emotional time, really. But you're looking through the eye of, what your intuitive eye of what you're feeling, what you're really wanting to see come forward. So the Seven is you've done the work, you've stepped aside, you're waiting for it. While you're waiting for it, you're looking at it, you're trying to perceive your intuitive knowing of it and what's going to happen, if that makes sense. You're looking for what's going to happen in the future. You're connecting to your inner emotional self. It's interesting because you've basically set this to the side and said, okay, go ahead and blossom, and then you go back into yourself, into your head, basically, into your heart even, your emotional side, while this is coming forward. So we'll look at that in September. That will be really interesting. I'm sorry, we'll look at that in August. Okay, to see that balance, because that in itself is kind of an awry. Okay, into September, Queen of Wands for Taurus. Okay, the owls are the birds. So there's conversations and talking happening. So this is what's going on in September, is that, this might be that person or this might be your energy, but you're making that choice to take that action forward, and there's some conversation about it. So this might be collaborative action happening. There might be something going on where it's like internet work, or if it's, maybe you work by satellite on your computer, and so there's conversation happening over the internet for your work, but you are taking the reins and you are working with this energy. Sometimes the birds can take away, there could be too much talk, too much chatter. Sometimes it's talking badly about each other or spreading gossip. But the Queen being here, I think, you know, that's just going to get cut out. So I don't think that's really the issue. I think it's more about like conversations and collaborations that are happening then. Okay. On to October, Seven of Wands. In the letter. So more conversations by text, by email. So you're standing your ground. I'm feeling like this is internet. So some type of internet company or conversations by the internet where, you know, you have to stand your ground through written text over and over again. Like, nope, this is my boundary. Nope, this is my boundary. This is how, you know, it could be a legal matter that's happening where you have to come back with counteroffer and counteroffer and counteroffer. But it's you standing your ground with words, okay, and with written words. So that is going to be happening in October. Nine of Wands, showing us your victory. How are you showing us your victory? Well, we've got a person card here. So now you could be showing victory. Here's the thing. I'm going to read this as energy, okay? So masculine energy is the doing, okay? It's the outside forces, the putting oneself out there. So in November, you're standing your ground because you have put yourself out there, because you have stood in your masculine energy, you're standing in your masculine. And this is okay with, you know, no matter what gender we're talking about, this is just energy here. So you're demonstrating that you have fought, that you have won, and that you cannot be run over. And this is quintessential masculine energy. That's happening in November. And then in December, with the Strength card, how will we end our season with Taurus? A little bit of confusion. Okay, so we've got some confusion with the clouds. Maybe the Strength with the Sun of Leo is going to spread through that. It's going to shake that up. And it could be that we're just, we've launched from this masculine place to go to a place where there's some confusion about where our strength lies. So, you know, despite all of this and feeling strong and secure, maybe at the end of the year we get to this point where now we're wondering, is this really what I want? Is this really who I am? Is this new project that I've been going towards, that I've spent months and months building, is this my legacy that I really want to leave behind? And you'll be thinking about that in December. You'll be making that choice. And we will see more about it when we get there, okay? So we're going to finish right here with this Mystical Shaman deck. I love this card deck. And always, if you love this, if you're really resonating with this, tell me. And if you are watching this months later, I'd love to hear one way or the other what's, you know, if this is working out for you. I like to see how things reveal themselves, and we're doing just a little bit to begin with, but I think it'll be a really interesting year for you, Taurus, okay? All right, one card for Taurus. Is that the one? That's the one. The Witness. Okay, she's beautiful. I'm going to read the book because there's so much. So the numbers 6 and 4 add up to 10 and to a 1. So we're off to the races with the number 1 year. It is a number 1 year. Oh, no, it's not. I'm sorry. It's a number 1 year for you. Okay, moving to the Witness. The Witness observes without engaging in any action. By cultivating inner stillness, we are able to assess any situation from a higher perspective and make better decisions. The Witness that has been by your side all along is now ready to become your ally. You thought you were the doer, but today you discover that things happen when you get out of the way. Witness creation unfolding before you. Changing reality by finding stillness and letting your true intent reveal itself. I think this is really amazing because we've just read through all of this, and this is all about doing. And then we get to a place at the end of your year where you're wondering, is this really what I wanted to do the whole time? And then our overall theme is get out of the way and let everything kind of reveal itself for you. So I think that's really valuable. I'll bring this up every month too. So that is your 2019 Taurus. It'll be really amazing to see how this unfolds. If you have any questions or if you want to get a private reading, you can contact me with the links below. I hope you have a great New Year's, and let me know how it's going, okay? Sending you all my love.